Hello, my lovey. Welcome back to the podcast. Today, we are going to talk about othering. What is that? You made up another word. Actually, it's been studied scientifically. So, othering is, I learned about it in classes about war, and it is a military technique that allows soldiers to kill other human beings. So you demonize the other side. You make them the enemy. You make them subhuman. You make them a threat to democracy. You make them, democracy being in the US. But honestly, this happens from the get. Like kids on schoolyards, even before they're old enough to go to school, are like other. You're nasty, you're mean, you're dumb, you're the whatever it is. There's like making someone else the other, the not like you, the the person that should be taken out of the equation for all practical purposes. And especially because the trend in the news that started a decade and a half ago, I guess, is to be sensationalist, right? It's very clickbaity. It's very like, let's appeal to the lowest vibe, anger, right? So that people will click and watch. That's what the ratings are viewed on. And so they're stoking this righteous rage, and it feels good. There is an emotional benefit to it because you get to be right. Humans innately seek justice. And even as little children, the reason you hear it's not fair a kabillion times is because we do know what's fair, and we know what is right, and we know what is just, and it feels good. It feels so good, to be right and have the others be wrong. They are wrong. That opinion is wrong. Let me tell you why. As opposed to, oh, tell me more about your opinion. Have some curiosity. How did they come to think that what you believe is empirically wrong? What if, perish forbid, you're wrong? Is your identity so attached to that other, being on the side that you're on and having those other people be wrong that it threatens you? Well, get curious about that. Well, what would it matter if I changed my mind about something? What would it matter if it wasn't either or, but it were parts and pieces of several different opinions? Things are not either or. They're just not. And it's not like you have one child and then you have another and you love it less, right? Things can grow. And the capacity, even if you do actually prefer one child over the other, to love differently, oh man, heck yeah. I did not have the same relationship with caregivers or my parents than my siblings did. None of us had the same relationship. However, it served its purpose. They were the same parents to all of us. I mean, that's the real jam. And Ken Burns says there is no them. And whenever someone suggests to you, whomever it may be in your life, that there is a them, run away because you are dehumanizing that other side. You are making them less than you. That's when we were fighting the Nazis. They were wrong. We could say that they were the bad guy. And that's what allowed the soldiers to have the capacity to kill them. This is used for any situation to dehumanize, to divide, and to oppress because they don't deserve, they are not worthy of the privileges that my team has. They're terrible. They're inhuman. They're cruel. They're this, they're that. If my country, my team, my side does the same stuff as that inhumane other, what are we like going to draw straws and try to figure that out and parse that? And I get it. When people are screaming in our face, when they're going on and on and on about how wrong, whether it's Democrats and Republicans, whether it's, second grade and third grade, whether it's that lunch table and my lunch table, whether it's this team at work or that team at work, whatever it is, it lessens us. if we're going to go down that road. It makes us less when we make others less than human, less than us. Human worth is not something that is determined by how you vote or what you see, how you perceive things. Human rights are important. Healthy business is important. How did these become mutually exclusive politically? What? That's just nutter butters. Like, why would we do that? And especially in the United States, it's very binary. It's like either this or that. Very rarely is that the case. Every situation is multifaceted, highly interesting, and has a zillion different solutions. When I'm coaching someone, I'm not going to say, oh, well, you're not doing the meditation, so you're never going to change your mindset. What? No. I'm going to try and lead them into reparenting themselves, into giving themselves a true subconscious, not one that's just influenced by their upbringing and society and, all the influences that we deal with as we grow up. I'm going to invite them using whatever resources I know about. And I'm going to try and fine tune it for that particular person. Are they visual? Okay, great. Here's some videos. Are they audio? Fantastic. Here's some guided meditations. Here's some, listen to this podcast. This really does pertain to you. Journaling. I would love it if everyone would journal with their hands, with a pen or a pencil, not typing, because it's been proven across cultures that helps you process the things about your blueprint, your subconscious, your guide to living. And it allows you to change it more quickly. But guess what? Some people just don't like to write. Okay, fantastic. Let's try these. Let's work up your affirmations. Let's connect them to you in your heart. And so that is what you want. That is who you are. And guess what? If you grow up out of that, you up level a bit, maybe it doesn't resonate anymore. Okay, let's make some new ones. And that's for any of the exercises, any of the things that I teach people to do. Maybe they don't want to meditate. However, when I explain that meditation is like just noticing your thought and letting it go, that can allow them to, in the moment, notice their emotion, question, is it true? What story am I telling myself here? Well, what if I didn't react like that? Oh, no one would lose a kidney? Okay, yeah. Like, what are the stakes here? And why do I feel so passionately that I need to be recognized as correct? Is that going down to lizard brain? Because being respected and seen as an authority by our tribe members could mean life or death. And you don't want to lose that. Like, what is it? Why are you so invested in being right about whatever the topic is? The best color in the world, the side of the war to back, the political whatever, the what's the best TV show on right now? Any of that. Great, you've got opinions. There are things that resonate with you. Other people aren't worse than you because it doesn't resonate with them or because they just don't see it. And othering is the simplistic binary way to make and identify enemies, period. That is what it is. And black and white thinking, that just limits you. Why not understand that there's every color of thought, every flavor of opinion? And what if they're all wrong? What if they're all partly right? Does that make the world a more or less dangerous place? Well, it doesn't make it anything because it already existed. This is our world. It has everything in it. We get to choose what we're going to focus on. And it's easy to breed conflict and hatred when you are a binary thinker, a black and white thinker. It's this or that. It's them or us. It takes the nuance out of everything. Thought, thinking, understanding, all the gorgeous stuff that we get to do, all the questions we get to ask. Well, how did they come to think that? Huh, interesting. What if that were your go-to reaction instead of righteous indignation, anger, or, it was just like, oh, I'm curious. Let me learn more about that. Tell me more. What makes you think that? Ah, interesting. And you communicate it in a way to invite conversation. Now, obviously, if somebody's all triggered up and ready to go to town, walk away. You don't have to waste your time with someone just trying to bombard you with why you're wrong. Okay, they think I'm wrong. Cool, cool. Other people's opinion is none of your business. Who cares? And again, lizard brain wants you to care, right? It wants you to be well liked. It wants you to be respected. It wants you to be held in esteem by others. And so when someone's angry about whatever issue or, decision or whatever the situation is, they're not thinking logically. They're lashing out. They're reacting. You, my gorgeous lovey, get to be the one that responds, gets to be the one to have the feelings. Oh, interesting. I feel excited, angry, nervous, intrigued, whatever the feeling is, name it. Isn't that interesting? Ah, I'm thinking they're an idiot. Is that true? Well, actually, I know them to be brilliant at whatever at work. They really excelled at something, They're always bringing the fun and the joy to the party. No one is 100% anything. That is so fringe of the bell curve. I don't believe that exists. And again, that's my belief. There could be someone who's so single-mindedly dedicated to being in one way that they are 100%. Or sap. That would suck. How boring. That would be terrible, honestly. And when we consider that there's only us, all of us, we're all on this rock hurtling through space. We're all on this planet that's figuring out how to coexist. That's all we are. That's all any of us are. We're all made of the same atoms and energies and particles, regardless of culture, regardless of creed, regardless of where you are in the world. That's just all us. And so consider when you're trying to say like, oh, those people are, oh, well, you know how they are. Consider the kinship of the soul. Okay. This is all inspired by Ken Burns, and he's a wonderful author. And to open up ourselves to the idea that because we are human beings, there is a connection, a relationship, a kinship, if you will, and we're all connected, and we all have common hopes and common fears and experiences. We experience relationships. We experience learning. We experience mucksucking at something, and picking ourselves up again and ambling forward. We get to share our common humanity together in a gorgeous way that links cultures, links the arts, literature, science, religion, whatever your jam is, it's happening all over the world. Amazing. That's just gorgeous. And if you feel that you can't really understand how they could do this thing, a trick to do in mindset work, and I call it reprogramming your subconscious, is to go back to that child you. So go back to the child them. What were they doing at 5? Were they living in a war-torn nation, being traumatized? Were they starving? Were they getting beaten by their loved ones? I mean, looking at that perspective, I can understand just about how anyone would have any belief, however rigid, because bad things happen, bad things are perceived to have happened. When someone feels that they've been abused, and then the other person's just like, "What? I thought we were having a good time." Truly, be curious. Can't you see that? One person thought they were just having fun, and the other one felt violated and taken advantage of and humiliated. That leaves a mark. That stings. And I don't care what they're doing now as an adult, whether they're leading a nation or a team at work or the company or your Rotary Club or whatever group you're part of. Every one of us, every one of us is a villain to someone else and the hero of our own story because we know how we came to be. We lived it and we don't necessarily examine it. There's A plus exercise in curiosity. How did you come to think that? How can I use empathy, compassion, take the perspective of the other person? What does that look like? What if I could? How does that feel in my body? Am I recoiling? Do I hate it? Ah ha ha. Why? Why? Let's figure that shiviz out. And just remember, we're all human, bumbling, fighting, working toward something. And that is our call to feel connected. So cheers, 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 cheers to embracing the kinship of the soul. Hugs, 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 lovey. And if you're enjoying this, please do subscribe, like, rate, review, whatever platform you're on and however they do it, because that helps me get these messages out so that I can hopefully, what's my goal? Always measurably increase joy in the world. I'm out. I'm your joy visionary, and I'm out. Hugs.